Casper's found the whole process really challenging. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily find me attractive. A certain type of woman that he usually goes for, and that's not me. Super positive. I'm also quite independent, and I face so many challenges. We can meet in the middle.
I think Emma currently has the ability to open up and consider how she behaves and how she is an issue in any relationship that she's in. It can't all be my fault. But the problem is I don't shine as myself when Emma and I are around each other.
Because he's scared to be himself.
Well, scared is the word I'd use, but there is definitely a part of me that holds back when I'm around Emma. And that's having a great time and that sort of thing. All to believe it's true. And when you saw your sister and Heidi, you were more...
Well, I cried.
Leveled.
Cried at the fucking sight of them.
I knew for really the first time in the whole of our relationship, and that, for me, was something that I could really relate to. A lot of the time, I struggle to relate to you as a person, just are very different people.
Missing her friends and wanting advice from her best friends on the marriage. Like, please help me.
It's kind of crazy because this whole time, everything has been Casper, and there's been hardly anything on her side, you know, and I feel like, you know, if Casper's going to try, Emma needs to be open for him trying. She also has to be, you know, I mean, look at it this way. Of course, it was devastating for her to find out that she wasn't his type, but she said that she was dedicated to the experiment and she was open to doing it completely different because she's putting it for a reason and she wants to see if things can work out. But she says that, but now she's become a walking contradiction to what she said because, you know, he has not given up and he keeps going, but yet she's not giving nothing back. And that's just silly, you know? There's no point of saying you want something from someone and then you choose to close up. Otherwise, then what? Like, come on, make that make sense. So I feel Casper's pain, you know, and his frustrations.
Missing her friends and wanting advice from her best friends on the marriage. Like, please help me. Sorry, Casper, if that's not the answer that is needed. Because that's what you saw.
Emma.
Yeah.
What I asked for, and she said it's not happening, it's not possible. One who's been asked to make all the changes. I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow, but Emma hasn't taken on board any changes that she has to make about herself.
He's just had enough.
Okay. Fucking bullshit. I had fucking enough of it. I need to see some sort of fucking sign that she might fucking change.
And the reality is, all she's ever going to do is continuously throw him under the bus. Every episode, she's always saying to anyone new, yeah, so he did this, he did this, he did this, he did this. It's like, how many times are you going to keep living the same story about what he did? When are you going to start living in the present, or in the present where you're trying to push for a future, not living in the present where you keep bringing up the past? Like, she's looking hella immature, in my opinion. You know, I feel sorry for Casper. You know, at first I was like, yeah, he was a bit, but now I feel for him. Because he's, you know, he even tried to say, hey, I like this about you. And instead of her saying, oh, okay, I appreciate that you like that bit about me, instead of doing that, she shuts it down and goes back to her character. And she even said at the very beginning, the very first episode, that usually she always has this character on. And she said that character wasn't going to happen in this season. Even when she found out he wasn't into her, she still said, no, I'm going to stay true to it. She hasn't.
I can actually feel the ice.
Hannah is trying to get Stephen's attention by reminding him of how great the wedding was. Hannah is trying to get Stephen's attention.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But he is choosing to ignore her to make a statement.
Be together.
I hope so, yeah.
Hands?
If I get the guy back that married, not the one now. Any of this to me, like you've even just sat here and said, I do see how she's been rejected and I don't want it to feel like that, but you've never actually said that to my face. I'm not going to sit here in front of someone that can't look at me.
I mean, honestly, the Stephen guy's winding me up. Like, you know, I feel like Hannah first may have looked as if she was may been the bigger problem, but nah, there's this guy, you know, he's literally just been, he's been I can't say the word, uncooperative. Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
See you then.
And said, I do see how she feels rejected and I do feel really bad about that. You never looked me in the eye and said, I'm really sorry that you feel like. Early on we said to each other, we need to just support each other and be like best friends. And the second shit hit the fan, he was like, right, I'm staying on my own and you fuck yourself off.
It's been that. You could see Stephen feels as if he can't even get his points out, and he can't defend his points either. So I literally think he needs us to wrap.
I've been able to do this for 5 days now.
A real man shouldn't need other people from outside to come in and mediate his freaking relationship, do you see what I'm saying? And that's what Stephen wants, and it's so sad, so pathetic. I feel for Hannah.
He needs us to wrap.
I've been able to do this for 5 days now.
Because I've been into a hole with it, of like just mental exhaustion.
You have kind of like shelled me in a little bit.
That makes me sound like I'm almost like controlling and manipulating something.
I've made me feel like I need to be quiet and chilled and
That, nah, okay. So this is where we need to have a conversation with experts.
Okay.
You see what I mean? This is where we need a conversation from the experts. What do you mean? This is where you need it. No, have that conversation with your freaking wife, man. You came here to explain for a reason. She's trying to have a conversation with me. She's trying to understand where things are gone kaput. You know, she's put her hands up to her own failings. She now needs to know, what can we do to go forward? And my man is just saying, nah, I need my mummy, I need my daddy. Oh, goodness gracious me.
That will get me. That'll get me. Because it will get me going.
Okay, but let's...
It's really chatty tonight. But there's new people there. I mean, it's nice to see you mingling for once.
Dave, Holly is screaming out loud that I have low self-esteem, and I'm scared.
So how have you been getting on?
I mean,
What the fuck?
just give me the time of day. I'm your wife.
Into Holly's insecurity, doesn't it? Because her worst fear is being played out right in front of her. So hopefully her walking out is a real sign for him that...
I mean, that's pathetic, to be honest with you. For me to hear experts say that her walking out is hopefully a sign for him. Hold on a minute. If she's walking out because of her own securities, that sounds like a Holly problem, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong. Can he do things to make her feel good? Yes. But has he done things to make her feel good? Yes, he has. So far, she repeatedly keeps saying that he's the first guy that's ever made her feel confident in her own freaking skin. All right. And most importantly, they've been through issues, you know, throughout the season, but they're still here, they're still going. So just because someone else comes in who she believes is maybe more attractive than her or whatever, and he's having a conversation, she's not thinking, this woman's a threat, he might leave me for her. Excuse me, but has she not recognized that? I mean, Amy's coming with Luke, and Luke hasn't got an issue with his woman talking to someone else because there's that trust. So the fact is, Holly needs to get over it. Nah. For me personally, I wouldn't put up with that person, myself in particular. He's not doing anything wrong. He's literally having a conversation with someone, with a woman or a couple that's come into the house for the first time, okay? So into the experiment, okay? And they're just having a conversation that's working. But it doesn't mean that these two are going to go off and do what. And don't get me wrong. Yes, the comment that was made earlier on in the season where he said that, you know, I would leave my wife for somebody else if it didn't work out. But they've had that conversation, and he said that he's happy where he's at. But she keeps bringing up these things, and walking out definitely wasn't going to help. You know, if anything, instead of sitting there going or waiting for him to speak to her, she could have literally just tapped and said, "Hey, you okay? Hey, do you want a drink? Hey, da." She could have initiated a conversation, but instead of initiating a conversation, she's made all about her insecurities. And the expert to sit there and say that she was basically right to walk out and hopefully it's going to get his attention is absolutely absurd. Are you mad? Like I said before, she shouldn't be an experiment if she's expecting someone else if she's expecting someone else to have to pay the price for her insecurities because of what somebody else did to her, because of what somebody else did to her in the past that was toxic. You see what I'm saying? And like I said before, he's already given her plenty of assurance that he's into her and he has no issues with how she looks and all that kind of stuff. So come on, let's get a freaking grip. And also on top of that, Polly was also acting wild when she first found out about Hannah. Oh, Hannah's got dark hair and she's slim. Oh my God, Adam's not gonna like me. But guess what? You know, she got over it. Thank God for that, to be honest with you, because she saw that wasn't the case.
Actually, I know this talk today.
Oh no, is that what you're fucked up about?
Yeah. Is that fucking right next to you? Have you noticed?
Yeah, like, and his back's turned as well.
Just bring it up now.
Because he's all eating away at me.
Why you have to bring it up at a dinner party?
We know Alex is a very private guy. So for him, the idea that Holly has exposed them, pretty uncomfortable.
Because I didn't want to dampen the mood like I feel.
Are you dampening it now? At the worst possible time? At the dinner
we'll
party?
have to discuss it then.
This is a problem that we see with Holly and Alex, like the inability to resolve conflict in a healthy way.
I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit on that one because it's like the experts forgot their own advice. I forgot which expert it was. I think it was the woman with the blonde hair. Literally came in. No. I think it was actually the black guys. I forget all the names. Anyway, I think that sorry. So what was said was, can we build boundaries? Can we build rules of how you're going to do things? And they did have this conversation about how when something goes wrong, they will discuss it in private. Holly didn't do that. She literally was saying it to other people, saying, "Look at him. He's talking to somebody else. He's being very chatty." Then got up and ran away. Then came back to then pull him to the side. You see what I'm saying? So she's gone against what they had basically already agreed on, because Alex said that's what he wanted. So the reality is this: instead of her saying to other people, "Oh, he's being very chatty," but don't get me wrong. I think she did say early in the episode, "You are very chatty today." She did say that to him. She did say to him a little bit. Later on, he continues being chatty. She's now saying to other people, that's where she's gone wrong. And then on top of that, she's made it worse by then getting up, gone into a room, the other ladies, and then obviously other people have had to tell him why they think that she's upset. So she has basically done what he said that he didn't like, and that was to make a scene in front of other people. We have our discussions in our own private time. She didn't check that option. She literally played for the camera like he said. You know, I'm just saying it in terms of the rules that they put down for each other. Do you see what I'm saying? And she had agreed to it, and the expert was there for it. But okay, let's all act like that never happened. So yeah, Holly's moving mad in my opinion.
To speak to Alex like an adult, and I really thought he respected me enough to listen.
I'm not doing.
You're really not. You're doing bare things for the cameras.
I'm not doing anything.
Listen, stop talking. I'm asking you. Let me asking you nicely. Please don't talk to me right now. That's it. That's it. I need you to respect. I need you to respect what I've asked you.
We both agreed if there was an issue, we talk between us. I'm presuming that's the case.
I've asked you to start speaking to me.
But I want to sort this out. If I'm feeling like something's bothering me, you're my husband and I should be able to talk to you.
Start speaking. Okay, so if that's the case, we'll talk when there's no cameras.
Okay, so can we agree to have a conversation later,
off camera, yeah.
But I don't want any bad vibe, like
You probably...
It's kind of wild because even though I don't necessarily agree with the way Alex has dealt with the situation, it's kind of still wild because Holly showed something there that's quite interesting. He kept saying that we'll talk about this off camera. She kept saying no, and then in the end she was like, okay, well, can you promise that we're going to talk about off camera? I'm thinking that's what he was saying the whole time. It's as if she doesn't actually register the things that's actually being said to her, you know, which can be a problem for some people. For me personally, it would be, because damn, if I say something, you're not listening to me, and then all of a sudden you then see what I just said. Oh god, that type of shit drives me nuts personally. But at the end of the day, you know, I've said what I've said, you know what I mean? Now, I will say this, though. I would say that there's obviously a part where he feels disrespected with the fish because she says she doesn't feel like there's respect there. He does feel disrespected with the fact that she didn't stick to what they agreed on. But at the same time, though, she doesn't feel respected because he hasn't really spoke to her all night, which I understand. But at the same time, all she had to do was initiate a conversation. That's it. You don't always have to wait for the guy to make the conversation. Fair enough, she said to him, oh, you'll be very chatty tonight. But that's not a conversation. That's you trying to point something out. And that's her trying to point something out, saying that she wants him to be a mind reader. And I always say this, people need to stop behaving as if like people should be mind readers. Say what you want to say. So instead of saying, oh, you're very chatty tonight, she could have said, hey, how's your evening going? Hey, you know what I mean? And you just initiate a casual conversation like it's nothing, rather than going down the route that she has gone down, because the route she's gone down is the same route that they've been going through the whole season. And that's the route of where when she's upset, she confides in other people to basically say X, Y, Z to make her feel good. And then after that, Alex is made he's then made to look like he's as if he's the person that's completely wrong, or as if he's this complete a-hole, when in reality, they've had conversations, and it seems to me those conversations have not been respected on her side mostly. But again, I will say this at the same time, it doesn't grant him to be disrespectful to her, though. I will say that 100%. But I can understand why he ends up being that way, because he obviously feels ignored. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they're both wrong in their own rights, but this could have been avoided if Holly just said, hey, how you doing? Do you know what I mean? If you just initiate a conversation. Nonetheless, though, let's get into Rochelle. Rochelle is about to rip into Olsen. Goddamn. Rewind it back a little bit. Let's get into it.
Conversation later,
off camera, yeah.
But I don't want any bad vibe, like
You probably aren't the man that I need, because I need somebody who is grounded in integrity and honesty. Sometimes I question if you are that. Really need a man who's a natural leader to the man that I'm with. And at times I'm not sure if that's what I get. Maybe a natural leader to a 25-year-old, but to a 48-year-old, he's not sufficient.
I mean, listen, Rochelle absolutely destroyed this guy. My only question is very simple, Veda. Also, why are you still here? This woman has made it abundantly clear that she just doesn't respect you, bro. Like, she's making it clear that there's a lot of things that she expected from you, but she didn't get the expectation. It didn't happen. Sadly, people shouldn't have expectations of other people, but that's what's happened anyway. So the reality is this: if I'm Austin, I'm hearing that, I'll just be like, you know what? I hear you. And if that's how you see me, okay, cool, I'm out. Because the thing is this, right? Even if Olsen stays and he tries to prove her wrong, the problem is that he's now in a relationship where he's having to prove himself. Healthy relationships where you have to start proving yourself are not healthy relationships, in my opinion. Because the moment that you start having to prove yourself is the moment that you have to start proving yourself for the rest of your relationship with that person. Because no matter what you do, they're always going to find something for you to have to prove. Because it becomes like a habit. You see what I'm saying? If you're with somebody and you don't have to prove anything, and they take it for how you are, and they respect you for who you are, and they see that you already have the qualities that they desire, that is perfect. But if it's a case of where they don't see these things and they're saying you're this, and that, and you got to basically prove it or whatever, yeah, it's a wrap. Don't waste your time. That's how toxic relationship happens. That's how, you know, a lot of things happen that are just not good. Nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.